As to cover his campaign, and he talked quite a bit, there aren't blue states, there aren't red states. Should we expect the president to travel to states, more states that he did not win in the presidential election or are not traditional battleground states?
Yes. Stay tuned.
Any updates on what those might be?
I'm not going to tell you before we tell governors. So soon. Go ahead.
Thank you. In addition to messaging the benefits of the vaccine, launching the community core, what other strategies is the administration considering to reach out to the vaccine hesitant, the remaining 50%?
Well, I would say first, we've seen a great deal of improvement along these lines. When the president took office, it was, only about 40% of the public wanted to get and take the vaccine. That has increased dramatically since that point in time. We've seen increases in confidence among Black and Brown communities. We've also seen increases in confidence among white conservative communities, which I reference those because those are some of the communities where there has been the higher level of hesitation. But what our focus is on is following the data. So what we've seen is that local messengers, trusted voices, doctors, medical experts, civic leaders, clergy, and local communities continuing to distribute out that $3 billion that as part of our funding to get to those communities is going to be front and center to our strategy. So we're continuing to implement exactly that. And one of the challenges we've seen or heard most from communities or people who are reluctant to take the vaccine is access and the challenge of taking a day off of work or fitting it into their lives. Some of that is, again, meeting people where they are, mobile clinics, local doctors, making it available at pharmacies. But some of it is also the paid leave announcement we made just last week for businesses of under 500 that people can get time off and have that covered through paid leave in order to go get a vaccine shot. So there are a number of strategies we're implementing. We're seeing progress. We're seeing them work. And we know it will continue to be harder as we vaccinate more and more people.
Is the administration tracking unused doses in each state, and what's being done to make sure in individual jurisdictions doses are not going wasted?
Certainly we are. Our COVID team is, and certainly they work with states, localities, through our pharmacy program and all of our programs to ensure we're doing everything possible to ensure doses are used.
And one more on behalf of Radio Pool. Is there an update on whether the U.S. will support the special waiver to waive vaccine patents at the WTO so other countries can make generic versions? Of course, there's a meeting at the end of the month.
And I know that our ambassador, our USTR, spoke to this. So how we're looking at this is our focus is on maximizing production and supply for the world at the lowest possible cost. And there are a lot of different ways to do that. Right now, that's one of the ways, but we have to assess what makes the most sense. So, for example, we produce a lot of vaccines here in the United States, right? Vaccines, manufactured here. We have manufacturing facilities that have been through, a number of them have been through FDA approval or going through FDA approval. We have to evaluate whether it's more effective to manufacture here and provide supply to the world, or the IP waiver is an option. There has not been a recommendation made from USTR, nor has the president made a decision.
And one more follow-up on that topic. What will go into deciding which countries get our excess vaccine?
Well, expect it will be a combination of our COVID team working with our national security team, our team at the State Department, to determine where the requests are, where the needs come in, where the needs are in order, and when we can be the most impactful in helping get the pandemic under control. And there is a process ongoing now. Again, we'll have about 10 million doses we expect, hopefully, if they go through the FDA review in the next couple of weeks, and then an additional 50 several months from there. Go ahead.
Is the White House open to some of the changes that Senator Scott has proposed on qualified immunity? In particular, is the White House open to making it so that lawsuits can be brought against police departments as opposed to just police officers?
Well, the White House and the President are strong supporters of the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act that has passed the House. We have every confidence in the negotiations that are happening between members of the House and the Senate, and we will make an evaluation once those hopefully conclude.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. Two questions. First, on the virus and related to the new guidance on the masks.
Yeah.
Does this mean that there will also be a revision to the president's order on mask use in federal facilities? For instance, will the National Park Service be easing the guidelines for where you have to wear a mask when you're outside on a trail or at an overlook in a national park or anything like that?
Yeah, it's a great question. Just like many states will be looking at the new guidance. I know, obviously, federal entities will be very closely looking at the guidance. We'll have to check and see what the status of that is. But obviously, federal agencies, the National Park Service and others certainly look at, and the president looks at the guidance put out by the CDC and expect there'll be adjustments accordingly. But we'll have to check on the status of those or timeline.
And on another topic, it's been probably about a week, I think, since someone in this room has asked the question about the student loan forgiveness or cancellation. I know that the Department of Education was working on some sort of review of what was possible. Is that review going to be something that will be completed in time to make Chuck Schumer a very happy senator tomorrow night, or is that something that will have to wait a little while longer?
The review is ongoing. Hopefully, we will make Senator Leader Schumer happy in other ways in the speech, but the review is ongoing. Go ahead in the back.
Thank you, Jen. So 2 questions. My first one, a follow-up to this one. I understand that you will be, that the COVID team and the national security team are going to consider for the vaccine sharing. I understand we still don't have any AstraZeneca dose to share, but the 10 million that will be coming. Can you at least say that in order to open more quickly the borders with Mexico and Canada, they will be at the top of the list of the countries who will have access to these vaccines?
I can't. Obviously, we have already lent doses to Canada and Mexico. They are important. They're not only our neighbors, they are our friends. But the process is just beginning, and I don't want to get ahead of the process that will be the ongoing process. Once it's concluded, we'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. I want to try Josh's question again about the human rights,
Okay.
the Human Rights Watch report on the treatment of Palestinians by Israel and the abuses that they underline. It's a very thorough report. You said, and the fact that the U.S. has turned a blind eye to what's happening over there. That's what they say. That's what they say. You said that in the president's speech tomorrow, there's going to be a foreign policy section, and he's going to talk about what are our values. Do you consider that the treatment of Palestinians by Israel correspond to the American values?
Well, I would say that the United States is committed to promoting respect for human rights in Israel and the West Bank and the Gaza